Hi, I'm George Foley. I'm the founder of FindBeth. We're a digital and tech recruitment agency based in Dubai. Today we're going to be covering candidate interviews, a guide to talent acquisition specialists. So this guide is a complete process for talent acquisition specialists looking to conduct effective candidate interviews. So we've got a lot of clients at the moment that have maybe interview processes that aren't as efficient as what they need them to be. And so we created this guide to help our clients produce better results from their interviews. This process is a step-by-step process. It covers everything from preparation to evaluation, ensuring that you're able to give fair and accurate evaluations of every candidate that you meet. So this is an understanding of the before and after. So you might be experiencing at the moment interviews that waste time or miss the mark in terms of identifying whether a candidate's actually good or not. Of course, the key result of an interview is to understand whether the candidate is right for the role or not. If you're getting candidates that are disengaged throughout the process, so maybe they seem a little bit bored or they're not giving you very detailed answers, then this process will help solve that as well. If you're having chaotic interviews where you're sort of rushing and you don't have like your questions in front of you and you're having to make it up on the fly each time, this process will certainly help you as well. So you'll be able to conduct interviews swiftly, getting all of the key information. You'll get dedicated candidates invested in your role, so we're actually selling and engaging the candidates in our roles. And then polished interviews that are smooth, pain-free, that you can run with every single time and get a consistent evaluation of each candidate. So why should you listen to us? In our agency, we meet hundreds of candidates every single month. So this was taken part of the way through August. We'd already met 133. On an average month, we're meeting over 200 candidates every single month. And so we've got a process that we've refined internally for how we interview candidates. We do meet every single candidate that we put forward to clients or consider throughout the process. So this is the exact process that we use when we're meeting candidates. The overview of an interview structure. So it starts with interview preparation, then starting the interview, so introducing yourself, the company and the role, conducting the interview, so asking actual experience-based questions, asking registration questions, closing the interview, and then post-interview, evaluating the candidate. So interview preparation, this shouldn't take too long, but it is important. It's like an important skill to have and something definitely not to skip. So setting up the environment ahead of time, so just making sure your video and audio is clear. I personally believe audio is a much more important, it's much more important for candidate interviews. The reason being is like if they can see you well enough, like that's fine. It doesn't need to be like 1080p HD. But if they can't hear you, it really slows down the conversation and makes it hard to connect with the person. So ensuring that you've got a good microphone, there's no background noise, no echo is very, very important. If at the start of the interview, the audio is bad and you can't hear them, then I would almost, I'd recommend postponing the interview or asking if they can move to a different room, or if you can move to a different room, basically. Have the candidate's resume ready to go, of course. And then just look over your interviewer's script ahead of time. I recommend having an outline of what you're going to ask, what you're going to talk about. So have that script in front of you, which we give you this as part of this. And then, you won't have any issues in terms of knowing what to ask. So starting the interview is really important because we know first impressions are key. So making sure you start with a warm greeting. The old school way of grilling people or trying to, act intimidating, it doesn't really work for interviews anymore. People see through that. So being very warm and, giving them your full attention is very important. Introduce yourself and the other participants on the call. So I would say, hi, I'm George, founder of FindBeth, and give them an overview of who I am and what I do in my role. And then the next important part is selling the role and also selling the company. And this is really key because for any candidate that you're interviewing, you don't necessarily know what their situation is at the moment. You might assume they need your job, but they could already have 2 or 3 other offers in the process, right? And with TAs, you're quite often reaching out to them about the role. So it's really important that you sell why this role is valuable to them. And what that does is it makes sure that they are engaged throughout the process. they're not giving you boring answers, and they're giving you as much energy as you give them. So make sure at the start of the call you sell the role and why it would be valuable for them. Talk about a few key achievements of the company as well and highlight why it's an exciting place to work. Now we're into the experience-based questions where you're actually just asking questions and letting them talk. The good number to go for here is 20% of you speaking, 80% of them talking. So ask the question, be quiet and let them answer, and that will ensure that you're able to really evaluate their answers. Sometimes as people we can want to help answer the question for them or give them more information or more context. These questions are designed to be straightforward, easy to understand, so there's no reason why someone shouldn't be able to answer these questions. So feel free to just ask them and then let them do 80% of the talking. So we have the basic information first, which is what is your current situation? What is most important for you in your next job? And why are you considering a new opportunity? Then we ask them about their biggest achievement in their current role and how did this achievement help your company? So this is a really important question. So quite often people will say that they've done something, but how did it actually impact the company? What was did you increase profits by 10%? Did you reduce, processing time by 50%? What was the actual impact on your company? And then technical expertise. So what technical experience do you have? What systems have you used? And then what qualifications do you have? Next, we have registration questions, which are more straightforward. So you'll get through these a little bit quicker than the more open questions that you have around experience. So if you're discussing salary on the calls, in some cases you may not, but as a TA you most likely will be. What is your current salary? What are you expecting? And do you receive any bonuses or benefits? Ask about their visa. So what's your visa situation? Any family dependents? What's your nationality? What languages do you speak? And then what is your notice period? Is it negotiable? And do you have other interviews ongoing? That's really important because you want to know if they've got a job offer or something else at the moment. It's important context for how you can move them through the process. Now you just simply close the interview by letting them know what the next steps will be. So if it's going to take a week or two, let them know on the call. We'll let you know once we've made a decision around the next steps. That will take a week or two, and then we'll follow up via email, WhatsApp, or a phone call. Great meeting with you and look forward to speaking soon. Nice little note to end the call on. And then you want to do the post-call evaluation. So this is a form that we use, or like a metric, scaling 1 to 10. So you can see that you can rank them based on their communication, likability, presentability, technical ability, their ambition and energy, and their likeliness of accepting, and then just an overall rating as well. So by ranking them on each of these, you can refer back to your notes about how they answered each question, but you can also look at some of the points in terms of, well, how did they present? How did they answer the technical questions? And it gives you a nice metric to refer back to for when you don't remember the candidate as well. That's the process. If you follow this for each candidate registration that you do, you will have nice, consistent notes and answers and evaluation metrics for each candidate that you meet. By doing this every time, you'll start to improve your ability to judge their answers because you'll have other answers to compare it to, and you'll find that you're able to increase your number of hires, both by evaluating the candidates better, but also by selling and engaging them in the role as well. Of course, this is the process we do every day. So if you need help with this and you'd like to work with an experienced agency that can do this for you, we contractually guarantee all of our placements for 12 months, which is a industry first. And that's because we do these interviews with every candidate. We're confident in the people that we place. There's a link below if you want to book a